Hi, this is Pete, welcome to my channel, and here we are with the TC June-60 and my little story about this little box. I remember very well my first date with the Roland Juno-60 some time ago in the 80s. It was in a shop in Hanover, Germany, where I tested this 6-voice polyphonic synth with headphones. With the arpeggiator running on a patch with long release time, some pulse width modulation and a bit of the sub-oscillator, the sound was really tasty. But when turning on the chorus effect, I was blown away. With headphones on, it was like adding another dimension to the sound. Incredible. Back to the present. TC, or shall I say Behringer, now provides the June-60, an inexpensive analog effect pedal that is advertised as a recreation of the Juno-60 chorus. With regard to the optical appearance, this is obviously the case. In fact, a recreation of the original Juno style. So I was very excited to try it with some of my synths, and my first synth I plugged into the June was the MicroFreak. With the stereo out connected to the mixer, I was then really surprised about what I heard on my headphones when turning on the chorus effect in stereo mode. In all three variations of the effect, the stereo width was incredibly narrow, not what I would expect from a good stereo chorus in general, and definitely not another dimension as with a Juno chorus. And I thought, if this is meant to be a Juno-60 chorus, then I'm Uli Behringer. Or even better, if this was a faithful recreation of the Juno chorus, then I would be a perfect double of Donald Trump, and you would call me Mr. President. What the hell was wrong with this device? To investigate this question in a more scientific way, I started to analyze the signal in terms of the stereo correlation between left and right channel. That means I looked at the time-varying similarity between both channels. Let's first take a look at the stereo correlation curve of the original Juno-60 chorus. For that I used some sounds that I obtained from other YouTube channels. Here is a plot over 5 seconds for chorus preset number 2. A maximum at 1 is obtained for identical signals on both channels, which is perceived as the center position in the stereo image. Negative values indicate anti-correlation, and at a minimum of -1, both signals would cancel out each other when mixed to mono. So, for the original Juno chorus, you see a strong dynamics which gives rise to a wide and vivid stereo image. Another plot for the second preset shows a similar curve. For preset number 1, the modulation frequency is lower, but as you see, the dynamics again is very high. And also the curve for the TAL-VST emulation of the Juno-60, a really good implementation by the way, shows a high dynamics. Here for the second chorus preset. A bit different from the original, but also with a great stereo image. And now the curve for the TC June with preset number 1. It's almost flat without any dynamics. And this is what I perceived as a narrow and lifeless stereo image. Also other June demos that I found on the net showed that picture. Here you see 2 more examples. And also the curve for my device looks very similar. So what is wrong? From the correlation analysis, I had a suspicion, which was immediately confirmed by some comment that I found at one of the June comparison videos. Here, one user reported that he tried to use the June chorus as a send effect, which means combining the signal of the pedal with the original signal in some external mixer. And this trick should have completely changed the sound. From the stereo correlation analysis, this makes absolutely sense, and when I tried this out, I actually got the stereo sound that I expected. I still think the resulting chorus is not too close to the original, which has a more complex and much more pleasing modulation. But all in all, it's a nice and wide analog chorus sound when used as a send effect. But is this the truth about the June? A chorus pedal that should be used as a send effect? So far I have 5 theories about what the June really is. First, it is a design error. Someone actually forgot to mix the original signal to the effect signal in the basic circuit layout. Or the engineer was not aware that this mix would be a good idea. Of course, this would raise the question about the quality control at TC Behringer. Second theory, some electronic part which is used within the June is faulty or does not have the right specification. Again, this would shed a bad light on the quality control. Therefore, I find my third theory more convincing. The June is the first device for a new generation of guitarists who now need an additional mixer for those pedals which work as a send effect. But possibly some cheap Behringer mixer would be completely sufficient for that purpose. Theory number 4. The June is part of an experiment from TC Behringer who want to test the tolerance of musicians with regard to deviations between product declaration and the actual sound. What would be next? A Lexicon PCM70 inspired reverb pedal, which is mono? Theory number 5 is my favorite. The June is part of a revenge campaign from Roland, who played a modified fake Juno-60 into the hands of the cloning engineers at TC Behringer and made them believe that this is the correct original. Here I have to stop before drifting away into conspiracy theories. And instead, I want to present you now a little demo with some synths that are plugged into the June. In particular, this demo shows the sound difference between the insert and send effect configuration of the June, if used with some external mixer. I hope you will enjoy this little demo, and if you like the whole video, it would be great if you subscribe to my channel. But now it's time to turn the microphone off and just make some noise. So put on your headphones and stay tuned.